Guys, what's going on? It is Ash here coming at you today in Raid Shadow Legends. Super excited to have you guys here because as promised last week we talked about the hardest hitting nukers inside Raid Shadow Legends, AoE nukers. Today, again, as promised in that video, I'm going to talk about the top 15 hardest hitting single target damage dealers inside the game. This list is going to be chock full of targets who are one-shot kill, or champions, excuse me, who are one-shot kill on their target. We're going to have a lot of fun today. I'm even going to try out some of these champions who I happen to have geared up and maxed out inside the arena as we go through this list. So let's go ahead and just jump right into it. So first up, we're going to talk about Faceless. Faceless, as with most of these champions, I think only maybe one or two exceptions, is an attack-based champion. He is a Void Affinity Night Revenant champion. I have him, but I don't have him built out. I've seen so much footage on him though, and he hits incredibly hard with his A3. Let's talk about the Ice Bolt ability. It will ignore shield. It will ignore block damage, as well as 100% of the target's defense. On a 3-turn cooldown, Faceless definitely has one of the best sheer damage abilities in the game. Now, his multipliers aren't as high as some of the other champions we'll talk about on this list, and his attack is, relatively low compared to some of these other champions at 1398, but that does not matter. The Ice Bolt hits incredibly hard. If you want to see, a full guide and me max out Faceless just to try him out specifically in the arena, but really in a variety of different dungeons in this game, go ahead and let me know. On his A2, he has an increased crit rate on himself and then attacks the enemy again on a 3-turn cooldown. So he's doing lightning and ice and then fire. So fire, lightning, and ice are his abilities. Pretty interesting. He attacks one enemy, 15% chance of placing an extra hit on his A1, and has attack in the arena, which really nobody uses for his aura, but that is Faceless. Next up is Septimus from the Bannerlord. So Septimus is well known to be one of the hardest hitting champions inside the entire game because of his A2. But first, his A1, he only has 2 active abilities, right? His A1, simple. Attacks one enemy, grants an extra turn, and resets the cooldown of his A2 if the target is killed. And his A2 just so happens to be one of the hardest hitting enemy max HP abilities, which are known to be the hardest hitting abilities in the game. So Septimus has it all. On a 4-turn cooldown, will ignore shield, will ignore block damage, and damage increases according to enemy max HP. Again, out of all the enemy max HP abilities in this game, this is widely considered to be the hardest hitting of them all. So great against bosses, right? Single target, trash mobs and stuff like that against the first couple waves and dungeons. Not as incredible as some of the other champions we're going to talk about today, but against bosses, he can rattle off 2 million critical hits, 2 million damage against bosses. That's how hard he can hit against Spider, Ice Golem, Fire Knight, and Dragon. So he is definitely a boss killer because of that ability, but it gets better. On his passive, has a 30% chance of increasing the duration of all debuffs on the target by 1 turn, and damage inflicted by each attack increases by 30% if the enemy's current HP is over 50%. So again, just adding to kind of the damage multipliers in his already beast mode kit. His aura is kind of a weak attack aura in all battles, I believe. Yeah, 23%, so really nothing to write home about there, but that is Septimus. The next up is one of the champions that I do have and I use a lot. It's Cruetraxa. She's very difficult to actually get in this game because she is a Void legendary champion, but man, her A2 hits so hard. It's a 4-turn cooldown, but it grants an extra turn every time you use it. So you can go right into her A2 to her A1, and this thing just crits for an insane amount of damage. Her A1 is a 4-time hitter that ignores 50% of enemy defense. She also puts a revive on death buff on herself at the start of each round. So here's the deal. I'm going to go ahead and show you Cruetraxa because, as I said, I want to go ahead and show and tell a little bit in today's video. So let's go ahead and try her out, I don't know, against this first. I don't want to go against a Torment here because I don't have a immunity on her. So I'm going to replace her as my main nuker here for Trunda. All right, so here we go. Let's see how hard Cruetraxa hits on her A2 here. So we're going to go ahead and boost everybody up. We're going to go ahead and land a provoke. We're going to put a decreased defense down and watch her go to town here, guys. We're going to start out, it doesn't even matter on this team who we start out with. We're going to be able to kill them all pretty easily here. Let's go ahead and get her turn up. Need to be a little bit faster on this team. I don't have her speed tuned for this team. So let's go ahead and take down Raglan first. Boom, 124,000 damage. And now let's go ahead and take down the Reviver there. So 23k, was it per hit there? So was that another whatever, a lot of damage? You guys can see just how effective she is, how strong she is. She also has that Revive on Death buff on herself, as you guys can see. Granted, only lasts 1 turn, so it's not as useful as one may think. It doesn't, only if she gets nuked right after she puts it on herself, is it really useful in the arena. But again, she basically took down the entire enemy team there, and you can see, again, hitting probably Raglan with her highest defense, I imagine, on that team, hitting her easily for 125,000. Let's move into the next champion. Next up is Mountain King, known for being a sheer damage, just behemoth inside the game. He has an A1 that hits pretty hard, scales on HP and then a little bit on attack, but mostly on HP. You want to build your Mountain King to have a lot of HP. You don't really care too much about attack. Attacks one enemy, ignores 50% of the target's defense on his A2, and then on his A3 ignores shield and block damage buffs on Mountain King. Also, his attack will increase by 50% for each champion he kills. It stacks up to 100%. It does reset every round though. If it didn't reset every round, Mountain King would be dungeon viable. The fact that it does reset every round, it really keeps Mountain King inside a niche use of arena, and of some people kind of try him out in clan boss, but again, it's really not meta by any stretch of the imagination. It's more of kind of like, okay, let's see how hard he can hit, you know? So let's go ahead and try him out in the arena again here, guys. Let's go against this team, and let's put him in right over here. Again, have to find him. I think he was in the beginning of my, nope. All right, man, I hate, oh, there he is, okay. So let's see how we do here with Mountain King this time, acting as our only damage dealer on this same squad. So again, gonna land some provokes. Living Armor will trigger. He's not gonna be able to kill Mountain King, that's for sure. We have almost 90 to 100k HP on our Mountain King right now, so he's gonna be hitting very, very hard. And we're gonna go after, we're gonna see if we can one-shot Razin here first. Actually, yeah, no, I'm gonna actually go after Foley here. If we can ever get a turn. You can see, again, really need to speed up my my champions here that I'm showcasing in this video. So Mountain King finally up. We're going to hit with the A2, ignoring 50% of target's defense here against Foley. Let's see what he can do. Boom, that would be enough to kill him. And then we're going to go on the, let's try to reduce turn meter here and see what we can do. See if we can steal that. We do. Duchess might pick up. Let's just go ahead and let's just A1 again on Duchess, see if we can reduce that turn meter a little bit. If we can ever get Mountain King to go again, it would be good, right? That's going to be the problem here. We haven't built out so slow, I believe, with, he must have HP boots on him to get his HP as high as I had it. So finally he's up again, and he's going to ignore, we're going to go with the A3 here against Duchess, and boom, again, one shot, one kill, and now they have no revivals left, so now we can just put it on auto here. But you can see, again, very, very capable, basically one-shot kills across the board. One thing to be careful about on Mountain King, though, he is not Void Affinity like Cruetraxa, like some of the other champions we talk about today, and he does get weak hits more often than a lot of the other champions, again, on this list, so that is the downside to Mountain King. So let's go ahead and see if he can finish off the team. Now he has 3 kills. Now keep in mind, guys, he has 3 kills so far, meaning that his attack is at plus 100%. So now at this point in the battle, I mean, he's going to be killing just everybody except for, like I just said, right? The Spirit Affinity. The weak shots are definitely a downside to Mountain King. You're just going to have to deal with that when you're going against negative affinities. That's why he is kind of a flex position for me. I will only use him if I don't have to contend with a bunch of Spirit Affinity champions. Let's go on to the next champ. Sticking with the dwarves, I was honestly a little bit disappointed with Gala Longbraids. She is a very heavy hitter, there's no doubt about it, and she does make this list of the top 15, but she is closer to 15 than she is closer to 1 if I had to rank them based on sheer damage. Her kit is amazing, but her multipliers are just not as high as I was hoping for. Again, that's not to say that she can be a tremendous main damage dealer, main kind of sniper on your team, taking down one target at a time. She absolutely can. I should have said this off the top of this video, guys, but all of these champions are incredibly good when you put them in Savage gear or the Helm Smasher Mastery. Ignoring defense is going to be crucial, and it does stack with abilities. So if I have Helm Smasher and a Savage gear set, and a Cruel gear set, and an ability that ignores 20% of enemy defense, it's all going to stack and add up to be potentially 100% of ignoring damage. And that's exactly how I have my Gala built. Attacks one enemy enemy 2 times. Each hit ignores 30% of the target's defense, places a shield buff on the champion for 2 turns. The value of the shield is equal to the damage, 20% of the damage inflicted. On her Fearless Aggression, attacks 1 enemy, ignores 50% of the target's defense when attacking under a shield buff. Heals his champion by 50% of the damage inflicted, places a shield buff on her equal to any surplus heals for 3 turns. And then the Sheer Swagger is her best ability. It's her opening move. 3-turn cooldown, attacks 1 enemy 3 times. Each hit ignores 25% of the target's defense, grants an extra turn if this champion has full HP after using this skill. So again here, guys, Gala Longbraids, a super good champion. Again, I want to go ahead and play her for you guys. I won't be doing this with every champion, as I mentioned. I don't have them all. So this is a pretty solid team too. Kind of an interesting team here with Inithwe, who we'll be talking about in a little bit. Kind of a teaser for you. So here we go. Here's Gala. Now, you guys saw 2 of the best heavy hitters so far in Cruetraxa and Mountain King. She's not on the same level as those guys, but let's see what she can do here with Sheer Swagger. She's going to be up next, I believe. Looks that way. And she still has full HP. Oh my god, dude. Oh my god. I want to go ahead and try to get an AoE reduced turn meter so she can actually go. All right, finally, she's up. Sheer Swagger. Okay, so she's going to have an extra turn after this. Let's just go ahead and try to go after Arbiter. 1, 2, 3, Deado. Not bad. 70k damage total there. Not bad at all. And then she gets to go again. So now who do we want to take down? Let's just go after Razin here. I'm not really too scared of Inithwe. And 100,000 damage! Man, here I was talking smack about my girl, Gala, and she's actually doing pretty well here, right? She took down 2 of the most difficult enemies to take down on the opponent's team. I gotta say I'm impressed. I take it back, Gala. You're in the top 5 now, okay? I'm joking, but still, hey, very well done, right? And that's Gala Longbraids. So how can I even do this video without mentioning Coldheart? Coldheart, definitely one of the most well-known single target damage dealers in the game. She also has AoE on her A2, but attacks 1 enemy, decreases the target's turn meter by 100%, and damage is based on enemy max HP. Yeah, Coldheart's incredible. I'm just gonna go ahead and show you, not in the arena on Coldheart, because she is a boss killer by every definition of the word. So let's go ahead and go into Spider's Den. And let's see. I actually don't want to use this team. I want to go ahead and do a one-shot kill team really quickly here. I will keep Royal Guard in. All right, so here's where Coldheart really shines, guys. I have the team all assembled. Let's go ahead and take down the Spider. Spider 20 as fast as we possibly can here. So I'm going to start out with the A1 of Kymar. And then we're going to move to the decreased defense of Stagnite. And then we're going to go ahead and do takedown from Royal Guard, who is on our biggest AoE nukers list. And then Heartseeker, 1.3 million damage. Heartseeker, 1.6 million damage. Not too shabby from Coldheart here, right? Then we're going to reset the abilities, cooldowns, and then we're going to move to Stagnite again. He's going to go ahead and do another AoE there, maybe kill a couple of those spiders, take down again from Royal Guard, and that's going to be all she wrote there in 32 seconds. Not too bad, right, guys? And that's the power of Coldheart and her Heartseeker ability on her A3 in terms of dealing 1.3, 1.6 million damage in one hit to the target. Next up is Inithwe Bloodtwin, another Void legendary champion, guys. He is a pretty cool champion. He has an A2 called No Mercy, attacks 1 enemy 3 times, damage increases equal to the percentage of HP the target has lost. And then we have attacks all enemies, placing a leech on his A3, and then his A1 decreases the target's max HP by 30% of the damage inflicted. So really, it's all about the No Mercy ability. The No Mercy ability is great and heals this champion by 30% of their max HP each time they kill an enemy, and enemies killed by this champion straight up cannot be revived no matter the skill that we use here. So No Mercy, attacking 1 enemy 3 times, is a Rotos killer, and it's very hard hitting. Let's go ahead and show him in the arena, guys. Alright guys, so it took me a while to find a Rotos team without having Torment also on the team because I don't have immunity gear on my Inithwe. Didn't want him to be frozen, wanted him to actually show how he can kill everybody and stop them from being revived. This is a good team to target for Inithwe because they have a reviver in an Arbiter, and they won't be able to use her because Inithwe's going to kill everybody and they won't be able to be revived. So anyway, let's go ahead and see how hard he can hit here. He's definitely, in terms of the scalability, the multipliers of his damage, he's on the bottom tier, I'm not going to lie to you guys, of the list, but he can still kill one shot. Again, what was that, around 50,000 damage total on Rotos, enough to take him down, so he's definitely arena viable. And now, again, like I said, even though there is a provoke on Arbiter, if she went to, on defense, she will automatically try to revive Rotos when he falls, but nothing's going to happen, and you might still see that on her very next turn here. And you can see we're almost up again. Let's just go ahead and decrease turn meter on Lysandra. Now let's go ahead and just see how much the Tormenting Whispers hits for. His AoE, it's not, oh, actually that was super hard hitting, 47,000 damage. That actually surprised me on his AoE attack that he hit that hard. I think it was scaled from around 30 to 50k. So that is Inithwe Bloodtwin, definitely a really, really solid kind of meta arena, a specialist right now, and being used in Ice Golem because of his block revival on the minions of the Ice Golem. So we just talked quite a bit about Rotos, but he is a just absolute stud when it comes to single target damage dealers. On the Fated Destruction, his good opening move, he grants an extra turn if he kills the enemy, then he can go into his A1, which has an additional 30% chance of granting another extra turn, which he can usually kill people with as well on the Terra Scourge. Also places a decreased defense, and then you can move into his Vitality Plunder, which attacks one enemy and decreases the target's max HP, and then adds that HP to his own HP on a 2-turn cooldown. So that is Rotos, the Lost Groom. Next up is Knight Errant. Knight Errant is a Bannerlord epic champion, again an attack-based champion here, and it's really all about, his kit is not bad, you know, it has a stun chance on the A2, on the A1 has a leech, but really the Death Warrant is one of the hardest hitting abilities inside this game. Check it out, guys. Attacks one enemy, 60% chance of placing a weaken debuff for 1 turn, can actually be booked up to 100% chance, and then damage is increased by 75% if this champion has full HP. So, I mean, the weaken is pretty much irrelevant unless you're, of course, attacking a boss, but if he has full HP, he's basically going to be killing anybody that he attacks with this ability. It's insanely hard hitting, talking about 300,000 plus damage, building him out again with a lot of crit damage on your Knight Errant. I saw a video by Murder Inc. a month or so ago illustrating just how hard he can hit. I'd recommend you guys check that out if you want to learn more about Knight Errant. Next up is the only other rare to make the list alongside Coldheart, and it's Souldrinker Bowyer. Souldrinker Bowyer is again, towards maybe the bottom half of the list in terms of her overall damage output, but that's not to say that she cannot be a great kind of sniper for your team, and her kit's pretty cool because she does have an AoE on her A1. So for that reason, she can also kind of be a campaign farmer for you guys. Has an additional 25% chance of inflicting a critical hit on all of her abilities. That's going to allow you to build her out with crit damage gauntlets, and just deals so much more damage. Again, she's a champion that is best served in Savage gear, in Cruel gear, or with a Helm Smasher mastery on her. So on her A2, she has again the extra chance of inflicting a crit and will ignore 75% of the target's defense on a 3-turn cooldown. That's a great ability, especially out of a rare. That's definitely a unique in terms of a rare having this much ignoring defense in an ability, right? And then attacks one enemy, has a 75% chance of fully depleting the target's turn meter. That can be booked up to 100% chance on a 4-turn cooldown. So again, turn meter manipulation, incredibly useful as well. Full depletion of the turn meter, no less. Souldrinker Bowyer is one of my favorite rare champions for this kind of versatility and hard-hitting capabilities inside her kit. Next up is Mortu-Macaab. So Mortu-Macaab is a pretty subpar, very average legendary champion in the game, but you can't take away the peril ability from my man Mortu. Attacks one enemy 2 times, will ignore shield, will ignore block damage, will ignore 100% defense. Enemies killed by the skill cannot be revived, one of the strongest skills inside this entire game. The bad news is it is a hidden ability. It can only be unlocked. So you can see the passive here has a 20% chance to unlock the secret skill, Peril, for 1 turn at the start of all of his turns. So it's very, very difficult to rely on your Mortu. I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys him in the arena. just because I actually have him built out. All right, so here we go, guys. And let me know, by the way, if you like this, if you like me doing kind of the playing the champions in these list videos. It's going to definitely make it quite a bit longer. But let's see if we can get lucky and get a peril trigger. I'm not going to waste all day trying to get this ability to proc. But there you go on his A2, man. I mean, that was a lot of nukage. Look at the HP of all the enemies. That was off of his A2. So I guess, you know, not too bad, right? And a block buff, look at block buffs on all of these enemies. What that's gonna do is basically neutralize Mausoleum Mage, right? So let's go ahead and try to reduce turn meter on Krisk. Don't want Krisk going ham on my team here. There's nothing to steal, so I'm gonna go ahead and keep reducing turn meter on Krisk. We'll kill him, that's good. Now, there goes Brakus. Spoiler alert, he's gonna be the next on the list. But I gotta say, man, oh, that was a misplay there. I should have went after Martyr, but it's okay. Yeah, I do really think, guys, that that I'm surprised. I'm impressed, I should say, by the A2 of Mortu there. Are you guys? Let's see. It's up again. His A1 should be able to actually kill one of these dudes. Brakus will revive himself. He does heal himself too, so the heal reduction is not worthless on Brakus. So here he comes, a weak hit there. I'll take that all day. Still trying to get him down, finally down. And this battle is almost done. Still, again, no luck, unfortunately, with the peril ability. I just wanted one peril, but again, it is a 1 in 5 shot, basically. So I'm gonna keep trying to keep these guys alive so we can get in with a final blow, have one more turn at least to trigger this ability. And let's see. Does he have it? No, he doesn't have it, but he can finish the job. There it goes. All right, so that is Mortu-Macaab. So next up is Brakus the Shifter. Brakus the Shifter, one of the highest sheer damage dealers inside the entire game. On his A1, attacks one enemy, heals himself. On his A2, attacks one enemy 6 times. One enemy 6 times, yeah, incredible. Also has a chance of placing a weaken, and heals his champion if the target is under fear or true fear. Fear or true fear, excuse me, is on his A3. His Hunter's Howl attacks one enemy, a very, very hard hitting ability. Increase attack on himself, and then places the true fear or the fear on the opponent. So really, really solid champion. Also revives his champion with a full turn meter, or grants an extra turn, excuse me, when he dies. So let's go ahead and try Brakus here in the arena again. All right, so here we go, guys. Sorry, it takes me forever to find these champions, so sometimes I'm just cutting out finding these champions in the character selection screen. All right, so starting out with the speed boost, you can see this is a perfect team for us because he's a Rotos killer, man. On his A2, hit 6 times, that's always gonna kill Rotos. He's going to be hitting for, you know, anywhere from 6 to 10k a pop, you know, how I have him geared out, which is actually not in my best gear on my account. I don't use him a ton, so I have him kind of speed tuned for an unkillable team, but I don't have like insane crit damage or anything like that. Let's go ahead and reduce the turn meter, or reduce the turn on the shields of the opponent. We'll strip them down. Now we have a decreased defense on all of the opponents as well, and he will be up in just a moment. Let's go ahead and reduce turn meter here on Lysandra, and yeah, let's do it again. She does have a provoke on her anyway, so I'm not too worried. All right, so here is the heaviest hitting ability that he has in his kit. Let's take down Stagnite. Boom! All right, so not bad, 50k in change. And then let's just gotta go ahead and cycle out here. Let's see how much he hits for on his A1, which will be the ability he does right now. Again, 26,000, enough to kill Lysandra. So that is Brakus the Shifter, guys. Let's go ahead and move on to the next champion. So the next champion on the list is going to be Turvold. Turvold, as you guys can see, is just an insane damage dealer. He is absolutely incredible, guys. He is attacks one enemy 2 times, has a 55% chance of placing a 25% weaken debuff for 2 turns. Now, not only the weaken, but even this base attack on like Nightmare Clan Boss does around 80 to 100k damage per hit, man. And then on his A2, it's just a self buffer that gives him an extra turn. So increased attack attack, increased crit rate, and increased speed on him, then grants an extra turn going into Judgment. Attacks one enemy 2 times. Damage increases according to the number of buffs on this champion. If the target is killed, resets the cooldown of this skill. So Juggernaut is an insane ability as well. Juggernaut's great too against Rotos because it's a 2-hitter. So let's go ahead and go with this team. Again, I don't have immunity gear on, so we'll see how he does against this Tormund. And I don't have any buffs really on this team, but I still feel like it is the right comp. So let's go ahead and go for it here. So on the Judgment ability of Turvold, he's going to be hitting for an insane, he did get frozen there unfortunately, but he's going to be hitting for an insane 200,000+ damage per hit on Nightmare Clan Boss. That's how hard. So he's hitting 400k to 500k per skill on Clan Boss with his Judgment ability, especially if there are any buffs on him. Now again, maybe should have went with a different team here or against a different team, because he's just going to be frozen the entire battle. That's why I have all of my damage dealers in immunity. Normally here, I don't use him in the arena, but eventually he's going to get to go, right? Let's see. Let's go ahead and see what we can do here. If Turvold ever goes, let's increase the turn meter there. Try to get him a turn here. He is up next. So let's see if he's frozen. Okay, he's not frozen. He only has 1 buff up, but he can self-buff himself. So now he has 4. So let's see. Who do we want to kill, guys? Who do we want to kill? Well, there's a revive on death on everybody, so that sucks. I guess we'll go ahead and kill Arbiter. So 48,000 damage. She will be revived though, so that does stink. That's Sky Touch Shaman there on the team. She can be annoying to deal with, an annoying healer to say the least. So let's go ahead and place a provoke on not everybody, but only on Arbiter, which is actually where we really need it here. And now we can kill Arbiter. I'm just going to use his A1. Boom. Because the reset was already available. I could have used the A3, I guess, and it would have automatically reset it, but I guess it doesn't matter. It's kind of irrelevant. So let's go ahead and, again, just try to reduce turn meter there, get to another Turvold turn. And let's see. Let's steal some of those revive on deaths. We got that on to Ceres. We also have the shield up now on our team. There he goes. He is provoked right now, so thanks to Tormund. So he did go ahead and hit pretty hard on his A1. Let's go ahead and strip those guys down. Let's go ahead and increase turn meter and send in Turvold for the kill on Rotos now. So here it goes. Check this out, man. Rotos isn't going to know what hit him. Boom and boom. There we go. And you can see how Turvold, even though he was frozen throughout the first half of the battle here, even though we made some misplays, it still is, at the end of the day, just highlighting how strong he is as a damage dealer. And look at this dude. He's just a huge tank in terms of, he just looks like an absolute beast because he is. Now, next up is Errol, guys. Errol I have, but I don't have him all the way leveled up. He's a great sheer damage dealer as well. Extra 30% hit of inflicting a critical hit. We talked about that as well. Allows you to easily build him out with the crit rate from other gear to put crit damage gauntlets on him. Has a 3-hitter on his A2, extra 30% chance, and a 50% chance to ignore defense on every single one of these hits. That's a great ability. And Helm Breaker, again, Helm Smasher, a great mastery to have on this champion. Steals all buff from the target enemy, then attacks the target, and again has an extra chance of inflicting that critical hit on his negation, his A3 ability. But really, the Helm Breaker is a very hard-hitting ability. Again, an ability that can easily kill your enemy Rotos, for example. So last but not least is Armiger. Now, it was between Armiger and Deathless to include here at the end of the list. I guess I could have included both of them and make this a top 16, whatever. Either way, Armiger is going to be the champion. He's an uncommon champion. So very, very rare that we talk about an uncommon champion here on the channel, but Armiger he gets the job done, right? Attacks one enemy, decreases the turn meter by 30% if the attack is critical. Pretty sweet. Damage is proportional to defense. Not too bad. However, his defense is pretty low at 947, considering he is a defensive champion, but he is uncommon too. Attacks one enemy, damage inflicted proportional to defense, and increases according to enemy max HP. Enemies killed by this skill cannot be revived, so the block revival on a 2-turn cooldown on Lay to Rest based on enemy max HP. So you want to build him out with defense, crit damage, and just absolutely tear through bosses or basically any mob you attack with Armiger. It's really insane to see this kind of a unique skills or kit inside an uncommon champion. champions. So pretty crazy stuff here, guys. That concludes my list of the hardest hitting champions. Let me know, did I snub anybody, any of these single target damage dealers in the game? There are a lot that we did not mention here in the channel. Let me know who is your favorite. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, take care, guys.